Hey, Brendan here from Blue Light, and if you are watching this, it's probably because you've got an interview ahead of you. It doesn't matter whether it's for the police sector or any other sector, the way competency and behavioural type interviews are run is the same pretty much right across the board. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to deconstruct some essential criteria for a role which actually is in the police, but they could be essential criteria for numerous jobs in other sectors. So I'm going to deconstruct these criteria for you and break them down into what the possible questions are going to be. This way it will enable you to practice your answers so that on the day it's not such a big shock, because the important thing for you is to practice. Don't just wait until the day and hope for the best and just act naturally and just be yourself and all the other cliches that I often hear. So this one is actually for an investigation type role, but like I said, it could be in any sector at all. And it's one of my clients who's got this interview ahead of her, and she's read these essential criteria and she's not quite sure what they mean. All right, well, let's break them down. Let's break them down. So the first one, communicate diplomatically and confidently at all levels. Good interpersonal and being able to effectively perform as part of a team. I've missed out a few words just for brevity. So it reads a little bit more wordy than this, but these are the essential points. So communicate diplomatically and confidently at all levels. This may turn into a question where they ask you, can you tell me about a time when you've had to brief someone more senior to you in an organisation about a complex set of circumstances? So that sounds a bit like being diplomatic and confident at all levels. Good interpersonal skills and effectively perform as part of a team. Turns into, can you tell me about a time when you've had to work as part of a team to achieve something? A really common question. So there you go, there's two. Actually, what we're going to see here is there's two criteria in one here. They've probably been told you can't have more than 5 criteria. So they've squashed about 10 criteria into 5 criteria. Next one, good admin skills, ability to set multiple targets, prioritise caseload, work alone and under pressure. Turns into something along the lines, can you tell me about a time when you've had to prioritise multiple tasks in a pressure situation? Can you tell me about a time when you've had to prioritise multiple tasks in a pressure situation? So pressure, multiple tasks, targets and prioritise. Another key skill. So perfectly acceptable for them to ask that question. Next, extract information from documents and databases, formulate lines of inquiry, and then probe for additional information and evidence. This would turn into something like, can you tell me about a time when you've had to make a decision based on multiple sources of information? Can you tell me about a time when you've had to make a decision based on multiple sources of information? And so they want to know about your your decision-making process and how you managed to develop the evidence that enabled you, the rationale that enabled you to make that decision based on several options. So they'll want several options in there as well, based on the information that you've collected from other people and other sources. And it mentions their databases, documents and databases. So definitely mention documents and databases. See, that's just like points to prove this. If those of you who have got a law background, you'd be thinking it's just like points to prove. It is. It's exactly like points to prove. Next one, present results of research, data and other evidence. This turns into something like, can you tell me about a time when you've had to account for one of your decisions to other people, or had to account for your decisions to people who didn't agree with you? So that's present results of research, data and other evidence. So it kind of flows on nicely from number 3. Sound working knowledge of key force IT systems. Well, this is going to be really difficult if you're not actually within that constabulary, within that force. Like I said, it's a in police force job advert, but like I said, it could be equally pertinent to any sector at all. Now, you might be thinking, well, I don't actually work for the police, so how am I going to be able to demonstrate that? So they may ask you questions about how you've managed to adapt to change or manage the IT systems that you currently use in your own organisation. Or if it's the first job you've gone for, I'd be looking at how you've managed to become adept at managing the IT systems at your college or university. Wherever you are, you will have been presented with IT systems to get your head round. It's no good just saying, well, I couldn't understand it, so I'll let someone else deal with it, because that will fail you, absolutely fail you. How did you become proficient? How did you keep yourself updated? How did you ensure that you're always capable of utilising any IT system that your current organisation or college or university presented you with as an aid? Because remember, all of these IT systems are meant to help you. They're meant to help you. Just because you're not in the force doesn't mean to say you would fail because you couldn't meet that criteria. And also it wants to know about Office-based systems such as Word or Excel. So how I would test that, I may ask you some geeky question about formatting documents, or if it's Excel, that add or take away thing. I don't know. I don't understand Word and Excel. I'm not very good at it, but I would ask you some geeky question from Word or Excel, and I'd just say, so tell me how you go about doing something from Word or Excel. And there you go, folks. That's how simple it is. It really, really is that simple. Now, the tricky part is how to present it, how to present all of that, because you can't just get away with the sort of advice that they give you on the websites for big recruitment companies. I'm not going to say which ones they are, but I've looked at some of the advice about how to present your answer, and honestly, it's awful. It's dreadful. It would result in about a 30-second answer, whereas I would be expecting you to talk for about 4 minutes or so to each one of these. I'd want loads of detail and loads of structure. And that's the trick. How are you going to make sure that you've actually got that structured, detailed approach that you can keep practicing, 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 practicing? Well, here's my invite for one of my masterclasses, one of my interview masterclasses. So I'll put a link in the blurb below. The great thing about my masterclasses is you only pay after the event, and only if you feel they were amazing. If you don't feel they're amazing, you don't pay. It's as easy as that. You just let me know and just say, I didn't think it's very good, didn't suit me at all, I don't want to pay. And no questions asked, you won't pay. So invariably the masterclasses are just £9.99. What's that? The price of 2 drinks, price of 2 meal deals from Sainsbury's or Tesco's sandwich meal deals. It's not much, and that's why I set it there, because I want it to be affordable for you. I want my advice to be affordable for you. So jump on one of those masterclasses and I will show you how to structure the answers to those sort of questions in a detailed way. And it's not star. It's star. That's not going to do it. Although all the websites say use star. Listen, the only reason star is so popular is because it spells a word. I'm going to show you how to utilize something called salku. Google it, you won't find it anywhere. It's an invention of mine. But then again, I've got the experience to make those sort of inventions. Over 30 years of coaching and supporting people, masters in education where I focused on personnel evaluation systems, and years of experience of coaching and supporting people to succeed in interviews in the hardest sector ever, the police. So if it works in that sector, it works in every sector. I get consistent feedback from people saying, I didn't actually get into the police, but I got a job in, or I got a job in, or I got a job in. And I got it first time just by using the systems and processes you showed me. So click on the link below, and remember, you only pay after the masterclass, and only if it offered you amazing value. That's like going to a restaurant for a meal and only paying if you really like the meal, or going to a cinema and watching a film and only paying on the way out if you like the film. I know, crazy. But the great thing is, there's no risk to you and there's no risk to me, because so far, not one person has asked not to pay for one of those masterclasses. So I look forward to seeing you on one of those. Actually, I won't see you. You can use the chat function. You can only see me. I can't see you. And I'll see you at one of those very soon. Bye-bye for now.